My name is Gunnar Tibert and I work as an associate professor in structural mechanics, and I'm also docent in flexible structures here at the Royal Institute of Technology in Stockholm. And my role in this project is to come up or help the team with the design for the folding and the stowing, and also the automatic deployment of the Moonhouse structure when it's sort of landing at the lunar surface. We can surely sort of eject the package from the moon lander. Then the question that we have been concerned with is how do we ensure that the house is landing correctly? I mean, how do we ensure that the bottom of the floor is actually towards the lunar surface? And the way we have found that the best way is that if we roll it up as sort of a mattress, then we can always, unless it sort of lands on the short sides, sort of in this way. If it lands like that, then we know that the bottom will always be towards the lunar surface, and from that point there will be sort of hopefully correct sort of a deployment of the house. My first reaction when I got the question was that it was not something that was easy to solve. I was more intrigued by the complexity of folding and working with sort of more like a cubical design, because most deployable structures that are in space now are either booms, which are sort of linear. They have two short dimensions and one long dimension, or solar panels which have sort of one short dimension and two long dimensions, more like planar structures. But this is like cubical structures that required some new thinking, how to sort of fold it first in one dimension and then the next dimension and then the third dimension. How the Moonhouse inspires me, that's mostly related to the technical challenge of sort of automatically come up with a design that is fairly simple. It meets all the criteria. I mean, it has to be very low in volume, low in mass. It has to be able to stay there for quite a long time. It should also look like a house in the footage. I mean, so the texture and the translucency of the walls and all the materials has to be sort of taken care of. And that's quite different requirements compared to if you have a science project, then you have quite hard science requirements. Now it's more visual requirements for the Moonhouse. It touches people in a different way than maybe other more common space projects. I mean, most people using the mobile phone every day, then you are using space technology, even though you don't really care about it or know it. And also, most of the other projects in space has a scientific aim. Looking down on Earth, looking out in space to find new planets, measuring the magnetic field, the electric field, looking at the aurora and all this. But I think like among the Nobel Prizes, you have the one in literature, and then you have the one in medicine, physics and chemistry. And the one in literature is the prize where most people can relate to. Not so much the other prizes, because it's on a totally different level. And I think the Moonhouse is also, that's a space project that people can relate to in a much more easy way.